Hey MagFed players, John here with Pro Edge Paintball. I'm back in the tech room, and today I'm going to show you how to upgrade the Deadlywind Hair 45 valve, trigger valve, in your MF100, MG100. This gun already rocks, but this upgrade makes it pretty sick. Let's get started. Okay, to get started installing the hair valve in your MG100 or MF100, I usually recommend, let's take off the shroud, let's take off the barrel. This kind of just pulls out. Good to go. Unscrew the barrel. That way it's a little easier to handle. You also need your planar Eclipse Allen wrenches that come with your gun. And of course, if you are shopping, you want to make sure you get the hair valve specifically for the EMF. Not the M170 when you're buying. I've had a couple people buy the wrong one. Okay, so let's go ahead and take out the mag here. Get that out of the way. All right, so on this, there are two frame screws here on the side here in the back that we're gonna have to get out. Let's go ahead and do those. So of course the EMF platform, the M170 platform already shoots absolutely ridiculously nice. It's kind of crazy to see how much mechanical paintball has really blown up over the last few years. Nobody would ever guess that you would want a extremely high-end mag-fed gun probably 5 years ago. But planar Eclipse, of course, gives you what you're asking for. So, of course, you don't need this trigger valve. But if you watch some of our other videos, like on the M170, it actually makes it so light you can really tweak it, and you can make it where you can almost walk the trigger whenever you put the hair valve in there. Okay, so I pulled the two screws out using the 1/8 Allen wrench, one in the front, one in the back, and then the body and everything's going to come apart here. So I'm going to pull it out like that. So it's got the same exact hinge system type in the front. Shouldn't call it a hinge, but basically it hinges from the front once you pull it apart there, so it helps keeps the gun together, just like the M170 does. All right, so we're gonna put the body up top there. You don't really have to touch anything up there. And then we want to take these grips off. So I'll use a 1/8 Allen wrench, kind of pull the locking system out, and then pull the grips off here on both sides. And you might not need this, but this is definitely gonna help us see what's going on. Okay. So on this one here, you have two little copper color pieces, brass color pieces. And the only one you're going to have to mess with is going to be this back one here. So what we want to do is we want to take one of our smaller Allen keys, and you want to press it from the small side towards the back to the big side. So from right to left, and this is going to fall out. And don't lose that. So it's got a little O-ring on there. Make sure it keeps lube on there, that way it doesn't move anywhere. You want to go ahead and pull the top of this valve out. You just kind of pinch my fingers together here, pull it out, and there will be a like a little seal. It's going to sit there, and there's also going to be another one in the bottom there that you're going to need to take out. So the best way to do this, I found, is go from underneath the grip. There's a small little spot here where you can actually see that valve system inside. So I'm putting my finger on there so it doesn't just fall out, and then I'm going to press from, this is the left side of the grip frame. You cannot see it from the right, but from the left side of the grip frame you can see the little valve piece, and you're going to take a small Allen key. I'm going to press it up, and that way this valve comes out there. Good to go, and that's going to be what hits the trigger and your gasket and everything. Okay, so with that said, on the bottom, I'm going to line this up just like that, and you want the pin to be facing forward. So this is how it came out. The big hole, round hole during the bottom, or facing the bottom on both of these valves. The pin, the trigger pin that's going to hit the trigger facing forward. So just like that, we're going to drop this into place. It's going to press in there. And then all you want to do is take one of the gaskets that you have from the other valve, and you want to set it right here on top. Move all these pieces out. And you're not going to need this anymore because it can't lock it into place. So this will fall out. If you accidentally hit this too hard, this valve will fall out. So make sure you're paying attention when you're doing this. Make sure you keep lube on all the parts. It helps keep them from rattling loose and accidentally falling out somewhere. Okay, that should be everything. Then again, we're going to start from the front of the gun and clip it into place. So the front's going to hook here, and then straight to the back. and it's gonna it looks like it has a little spring against it because it does have a rubber seal up there. So we're just gonna take our screws here, and I'm gonna put a few of them, or a few threads in on each of them, and then I'm gonna really tighten them up. So Planet Eclipse, of course, is great at designing things that are very user-friendly, very easy for the user to figure out. As you can tell, it's pretty straightforward on putting this in. The main thing is you want to make sure you pull both valves out. Don't lose those. If you ever want to take this valve out, you're going to sell your gun, anything like that. Probably sell the parts separately and get a little more for them. But this is going to make this gun ridiculous. It lightens up the trigger pull. They do have an upgraded Fang trigger from Inception Designs. We will have an install video on that one as well. That's supposed to make it, because the EMEC and the MagFed Eclipse gun, the triggers, the stock trigger, are not really adjustable. They don't have any set screws on the front of them, where the Fang trigger gives you quite a few adjustments, just like the M170 does. The M170 has quite a few adjustments on her, so you can really fine tune the adjustment, especially when you put that new valve in there. Okay, so just going to tighten these up a little bit. Make sure it's good, because I'm going to throw an air tank on here in a second. Good to go. And I'm snugging them up. So like I said, I put a few threads in on each of them, and then I'm going to slowly tighten them up. Okay, so I'm going to leave it apart here, just in case there are leaks or something. I kind of have an idea where it's coming from. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the on-off here is off, and I'm going to slowly screw my bottles in, and then I'm going to press this on. You're good to go. Make sure there's no leaks, and you're all set. So one thing that these guns, that the hair valve sometimes has an issue with, is when it comes in packaging, the pin that actually hits the trigger gets pressed all the way into the valve. The issue with that is when you air it up, it doesn't actually kick that pin out. You might be able to see it here on the side. It doesn't actually kick that pin out to hit the trigger. So one thing that I recommend to do is take your small Allen wrench, one of the smaller ones, out of your Eclipse kit, and on the bottom of the valve here, you'll see there's a small hole, and you'll see how the pin is sticking out here. So that's pretty good, but sometimes it can be pressed all the way in like that, and what will happen is it'll kind of get stuck. What you want to do is you want to take a small pick. You don't want to be real rough at all with it, and you want to take it and you want to kind of try to press that pin out just a little bit. If you can get it to stick out just a little bit more than it was when you get it, it guarantees that it's not going to get stuck, and that way when you air up the gun, it fires every time. So you're all set. So once you get an upgraded trigger, you can really fine tune the settings. This is already much lighter of a trigger pull than it was before. So if you guys have any questions about installing this, of course we do carry the hair valves at prohpb.com. Just at the top, type in Deadlywind or Hair 45. That'll pull it up. We do have it for the EMEC, for the MG100, MF100, and the M170. If you guys have any questions about installing it, make sure you message us online through social media, or you can comment below. Please take a second to like this video if you found it useful, and definitely if you like tech videos, make sure you subscribe. We do weekly tech videos. Other than that, until next time, we appreciate you guys watching. Thanks so much.